I should quickly move to Obama. There has been, in the past few days and few weeks, a lot of press coverage indicating that Obama has shifted his position on Iraq from clear anti-occupation, calling for withdrawal from Iraq and so on, to that of prevarication and using warm words or diluting the anti-occupation message. I disagree. I think if you read Obama very carefully, especially his considered written statements and the legislation he put to Congress in January 2007, you will see that his line has not changed on Iraq. His strategy is based on having a strong client regime in Baghdad, backed by minimal US forces. But this, if you want to examine it carefully, is Bush's strategy as well. I have here, obviously, I can read out some of this stuff, some of the writings of Obama, which precisely spell out what I'm talking about. He, for example, on the 14th of July article in the New York Times, he said that he would like to leave a residual force in Iraq. Withdraw the combat forces, but leave a residual force in Iraq to fight terrorism and to aid the Iraqi government. Okay? Now, what is a residual force? How big is a residual force? If you read the text, you'll see he's quite flexible. He doesn't talk about numbers. What he has spelled out is that the United States should renounce having permanent military bases in Iraq. What does permanent mean? It's the word permanent, which is at issue rather than bases in Iraq. If you read the English, you will see that he's not opposed to bases in Iraq or having forces in Iraq, but he's opposed to having permanent. And politicians can argue about what permanent means till the cows come home. There is another important issue, and this is also in writing. He actually says that Iraq could be re-invaded if necessary. He would reserve the right to intervene militarily with our international partners to suppress potential genocidal violence within Iraq. Potential. It's not to stop genocidal violence, but potential, which is open to interpretations of all sorts. So I invite you all, please, to read very carefully what Obama is actually writing. Obama is not outside of the US establishment. I'm talking about Iraq. I don't want to kind of be an expert on Obama internal politics and so on within the United States. Within the context of Iraq and the Middle East, there is a meeting of minds as to the ultimate goals and targets. A client regime in Baghdad tied up to an agreement. He's not opposed to the current pact, by the way. All he says, we should renounce this sentence about having permanent bases. He is not opposed. He, in fact, calls for signing a pact with Iraq. But we should discuss it in Congress, he says, or leave it to the next administration to negotiate with it. He refers to the Iraqi government constantly and lays down conditions. And these conditions are no different from Bush's. The benchmarks, the famous benchmarks on oil, on federalism in Iraq, which is dividing Iraq into manageable bits that the United States can manipulate, whether it's in Kurdistan, the central areas, or the south. So in winding up,